The rookies were on the field. We were on the scene. Happy Friday to all. It is SNL, Landry Locker, Cody Stoots, with you reacting to what we saw today from the Texans rooks. We got to see these rookies for the first time. I'm going to jump right into it, Stoots. The thing that I noticed about this group, and there's definitely a couple of exceptions, but it is probably the most, I guess, physically developed group of rookies that I've seen. Like, a lot of these guys look like they've already gone through an NFL offseason. And a lot of times that's not the case when you're seeing rookies for the first time. But it is a pretty, I don't know if physically imposing is the word, but these guys are not these, like, even the receivers, like they look like they've lifted weights a lot. Ursary already looks more like a NFL tackle than Blake Fisher did last year through the season. It's a physically impressive group.
I mean, there are so many different guys that already look the part. I mean, Jaden Higgins looks the part. 6'4", over 200 pounds. And then we got to interview, when he's up there interviewing, it's like, yeah, this guy's got, like, he's not just like a tall, skinny guy that used to play basketball and just started playing wide receiver. Like, he's got muscles. Ursary's massive. He's humongous. I mean, he stands out amongst everybody else. And then even the defensive tackles, like, both those defensive tackles, they're not the tallest guys in the world, but they were nice and stout. Keontae Hamilton's got a gigantic belly. He's like a throwback defensive tackle. I love that about him. And you're right. This is like and I wonder if this is a product of, hey, these guys have played a lot of football. Like that, we talked about this with this draft class, because they've played a lot of football. Maybe the coaches, gave them a little bit extra time in the development conversation. Even Jaden Reed, I mean, he looks like a brick wall out there playing safety. Like, it's a physically imposing crew. I think that's an appropriate way to say it.
Yeah, and as much as I say that, they look that way, but then in the face they all look like they're 12. So
that is true.
It's kind of like a cancel out. Like, it's a very physically imposing group. I would say even Woody Marks, he has the running back body. He's not skinny at all. Normally when you hear about, this guy's just mainly a receiving back, you kind of wonder, okay, well, what does he look like? Like, at the core, and this is a lot of Paul's convo here, but he even looks developed. I would say the only one that kind of doesn't look as developed as you would like is Lachey. Lachey kind of looks Cade Stover-esque in the arms, where Cade Stover looked a little bit skinnier last year. And he also happens to be working out next to fucking Bigfoot. So yeah, maybe that doesn't help. I mean, this is, I took this picture on the field. He's 6'6", he's 6'6", 250, and he's right here on the left. So on the left right here is Luke Lachey, and then look who he's working out with. He's working out next to freaking Bigfoot.
Yeah, Mason Tharp, the tryout tight end from Texas Tech, 6'9", 260, maybe even heavier.
Yeah, he's got to be 275.
Yeah, I mean, if Tharp doesn't make it in football, head right down 45 South and go see what Booker T's got for you, because Booker T can make him a professional wrestler pretty easy.
Yeah, massive human being.
Yeah, that is unfortunate for Lachey, because he's not a small guy. Lachey's the same height as Ursary, but he looked like a tiny person next to Tharp. I would even go as far as to say Jalen Smith, who, when I looked at some of his USC stuff, even he in person looked a little bit bigger than what he looked like on video. So thumbs up for the physicality of this rookie class so far. And
yeah,
that's a lot of what you can glean from rookie minicamp. They're doing drills and workouts and, routes against air and stuff like that. So, what do these guys look like physically? I mean, a year ago, the first thing that I noticed when I walked on the field of rookie minicamp was Kalen Bullock's legs are about that big.
Yeah.
There's none of that this year. Even Kamari Lassiter could have stood to add some weight.
And he did, apparently.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the thing is it's a pretty physically imposing rookie group. And really that's kind of all you have to judge. So let's just set the scene. It is SNL, Landry Locker, Cody Stoots with you, keeping you up to date on what's going on with the rookies today, who we got to see for the first time. So basically they piddled around a little bit before practice in their groups. Woody Marks was the only running back, so he was by himself taking all the reps. He got a lot of good one-on-one time with Danny Barrett, the running back coach. And then, I mean, they went and did like some light position drills, and then they stretched. And then there was like some light special teams and then some light teams. So it wasn't a ton. You got to see a little bit, and you just got to get a picture of what these guys look like and what they're about. And we got to hear from the first three picks afterwards. The quote of the day, by the way, this was from Ariante Ursary. He was asked about his mom, and I think this was a pretty good line by him. It might be, I might have to pick six this, I might have to jack it, but this was the line of the day from Ariante Ursary.
Go to my fire. That's the gumbo to the pot.
The gumbo to the pot. Okay.
What a freaking line.
Not even the spice on the gumbo. I've heard I'm the spice on the gumbo. I think Webby said that. Shout out to Webby. He said I'm the spice in the gumbo, but I haven't heard the gumbo to the pot. Like there's a lot there for that.
That was good. I liked that.
That was
I like
a good
that
compliment.
Yeah, so it was, I mean, I was kind of hoping, and I would assume maybe a little bit of it tomorrow. Tomorrow's not open to the media. The media only sees one day. I would have, they had DBs, they had wide receivers, you got quarterbacks. You could have done a little one-on-one. D'Amico Ryans made it pretty clear, hey, just getting their feet wet, getting them used to how we do things. I wonder if tomorrow maybe there's a one-on-one or two for those guys. I mean, you got two wide receivers, you got two DBs. You got a safety that's going to cover the slot. You got a corner that can cover the slot and a corner that can play outside. You got linebackers for the tight ends. Go do some one-on-ones. What are we doing?
Well, I mean,
I'm not asking the defensive and offensive line to start smashing into each other. You can go out there and run a couple routes against the defensive backs.
On the super chat and a couple of comments, and I also got to talk about how Cody Stoots had me laughing my ass off a minute ago. You ain't never Swarm. First, shout out to Austin Jack, HD AV Traveler.
Appreciate you. Good
afternoon to you, mi amigo. Stone alone 5 times. Yes, sir. You already know. He's got it going in the truck. He's got that Friday spirit always. Trill Kick X. Who's in charge of Texans YouTube? Missed all the Higgins. Don't know. We have it, but I don't know. Not sure.
I gotta imagine if you ask nicely, Landry Locker could play that for you on the locker room.
Yeah, we'll play it tonight. We'll go through Higgins tonight. 10:30. I got plenty of takeaways from that. So we'll play some Higgins, we'll play some Knoll, and we'll play some Ursary tonight at 10:30 on the locker room stream. Brady Batch asks an interesting question. He says, what kind of energy did Nick Caley give off? I have an answer to that, and it was one of my observations. I'll give you that in a second, but first I got to tell you why I was laughing my ass off at Cody Stoots. I was laying in bed with the wife just now. We were chilling. She likes to watch The Office every moment of life. So she was watching The Office, and I just blurted out laughing, and she thought I was laughing at a part in The Office, and I was not. I was actually laughing at Cody Stoots's rookie camp observations from Houston football. And I wasn't going to say anything, although I did think it looked a little bit weird. But Case Keenum's number has already been handed out to the newest quarterback, Mr. Mertz, by way of Wisconsin to Florida to the Houston Texans. And Cody Stoots' final observation. Read that for me, please.
Graham Mertz looked like he had a cybernetic leg. Mertz is recovering from an ACL injury that he suffered last season at Florida, but was working out. He moved pretty well for a guy that had that much hardware on his leg. Mertz has more arm strength than second-year quarterback Keaton Slovis. Even with the hurt leg, Mertz was able to rifle the ball. He zipped one through Lachey's hands, surprising the tight end with the power behind the throw. A healthy Mertz has a chance to take Slovis's job.
Read the first sentence again.
Graham Mertz looked like he had a cybernetic leg.
He really looked like he shouldn't have been out there.
Dude, there's
I
no way he's cleared for activities.
Yeah, like I was watching this guy and I was like, okay, he's walking down the steps. It honestly looked like, and I'll put it this way, and this is my buddy. I ate lunch with him yesterday. I've eaten lunch with him 3 times the last 3 weeks. I think we're going to eat next week. And he was there today. He was moving worse than John McClain. I'm being dead serious. He was moving worse than John McClain. There is no way. If he is capable of throwing with that, then there is no way you can put that. If that's 100%, you can't put that guy on a football field.
He said in his interview after he got drafted that I still got some work to do. I still got some rehab stuff. And I thought when he said that, which is 3 weeks ago, I thought when he said that, okay, well, we won't even maybe see him until training camp. No, he was out there, and it's like everybody's done this. When you get like a Charlie horse, you try to walk, and instead of moving your leg, forward and backwards, you have to like throw your leg over. And you have to like throw your leg over when you walk. He was walking like that. And I was like, should this guy be out here? Like, it's one thing to walk out there with the Stone Cold Steve Austin knee brace. This guy had like a whole leg brace on and the little sleeve on top of it.
He was moving like really awkwardly. And I was just like, man.
And he still threw the ball harder than Keaton Slovis.
Yeah, what'd you say about Keaton Slovis?
I said Keaton Slovis would be a great neighbor because when he goes and plays football with the kids in the neighborhood, you don't have to worry about any windows getting broken.
All right. Quarterback jokes. Maybe Mertz is going to be okay. I'm just saying he literally said 8 days ago that he was not ready to go. Like, so this is not like it's a combination of he said that he's not ready to go, and then he's out there with a knee brace that looks like it's a freaking, I don't even know what to call it. Like and that's not a Stone Cold knee brace. That Stone Cold never had a knee brace that big.
It looked like a leg brace. It looked like there were 2 braces on his entire leg.
Yes. And then he goes out there and he's throwing the football. I'm like, man, there's no way that's good for that leg. You can say it's a light workout. There's no way that's good for that leg.
He's got to be in so much pain right now. Like, he's got to be in so much pain. Credit to him for gutting it out. But
for what?
I guess he felt like if he didn't go out there, he couldn't beat Keaton Slovis out.
Okay. That was crazy.
Though, if Keaton Slovis wants to take home a stuffed animal when the rodeo comes to town next year, he better take Graham Mertz with him because he ain't breaking no plates. He's not knocking down those milk bottles. That guy was crow hopping to throw it 10 yards to Lachey. Looked like that kid that you don't like to play in Little League and right field finally figured out how to throw. They crow hop and they throw it all the way to the first baseman. Damn. That's it.
Let's look at the jersey numbers. This was a big topic today. So Mertz took Case Keenum's number 18.
Boo.
Marks is going to be rocking the 2-7.
Right next to Joe Mixon, 28.
Hey, we got a little Smith, a.k.a. Kenny Smith, number 30, rocking the Smith. You can get him a Clutch City jersey, and it fits right in. Get you a Kenny Smith throwback.
If you told me guess what number Jalen Smith was going to have before the numbers came out, I probably would have guessed 30.
Yeah, he's got him a little Kenny Smith going.
I probably would have guessed 30.
Jalen Reed is going with 34.
Not bad. I like that.
Could be worse. Luke Lachey, 42 at tight end.
Weird, kind of a weird number though.
Yeah.
I mean, hopefully he gets a little bit better number.
Perhaps.
Got to make the squad, but you know what I mean.
Then we have Ursary 79, appropriate.
Yeah, one more than Laramie Tunsil 78, so I'll take that for what it's worth.
Higgins is going 81.
9 squared. He was 9 in college, and 81 is 9 squared. 8 plus 1 also equals 9.
Noel is going 82. What's up, Steven Sims?
Yeah, I would prefer Jalen Noel to get a new number.
Did no one take 2? Did no one want 2? I'm surprised, man. That's a badass number. Or did a veteran snatch it up?
You know what? I got to go look on the website and see if some of the veterans got their numbers after.
Yeah, because I thought 2 was free game, but maybe one of these, like I could see Tremont Smith trying to take 2 or something like that.
Tremont Smith. Yeah, I mean, we know that C.J. Gardner-Johnson wants 8. Maybe Barrios has 2.
And then you have Hamilton at 94.
Hamilton's not 94.
Yeah, it's changed. It's actually 58.
He's 58, which 94 feels.
We saw him out there.
Yeah, he was out there. 94 is a more make the roster defensive tackle number than 58 is, but stranger things have happened.
Yeah, I thought 2 was going to be what was up with like Higgins or Noel, like either one of them dudes with 2. I thought would have been nice.
And then some of the undrafted numbers, if you care.
Yep.
How do you not get 69 if you're Eli Cox?
I don't know. That's a weird one. By the way, I feel like we got a grudge match in training camp already.
A grudge match?
I feel like we got a grudge match in training camp.
Okay, go on.
I think 46 and Hansen are going to go at it for all of the glory, man. And this might be, I might deserve this. But I'm telling you, man, he's got some Hansen vibes, man. That guy looks like he knows everything going on with special teams. Some of these guys, like they had Higgins and Noel doing like the gunner stuff, and it's like they're kind of a little bit lost. Even some of these tight ends, at 46, he already got released and they already picked him up for a reason. I'm telling you, man, Hansen better look out because there's another lunch pail special teamer that is here to take your spot.
It's unfortunate that he's wearing 46, and I'm just not ready to root for him yet because that was John Weeks. But Jackson Woodard is who you're talking about.
By the way, I talked to someone about that, about the number. He said ha ha, but I don't think he likes his number being handed out.
Well, maybe they
didn't really talk about it. He said, "Damn, they already gave my number out to a rookie." Ha ha.
Well, maybe they could find this kid a new number. I mean, the kid wore 7 at UNLV. He's obviously not getting 7. I dare
you to ask him about that quarterback who left midseason.
Where'd
that guy end up?
I don't know.
Remember, he wanted more NIL money at UNLV, and then he left. Where'd he end up?
Yeah, he played 4 games, and then
help us, chat. And they still ended up playing well.
I don't even remember his name.
I forgot his name, but he was pretty electric. Didn't he play at James Madison, and then he went to UNLV?
Yeah.
Yeah, where'd he end up? Because he thought he acted like he was freaking Arch Manning.
Was it the Sluka kid, Matthew Sluka?
Yeah, where's he at?
Great question. I'll find out for you.
Oh, UCLA. Okay. Is that?
The internet says he's back at James Madison.
Okay, maybe he's back at James Madison. I don't know. Maybe people said screw him.
No, he was at Holy Cross, then at UNLV, then at James Madison.
Okay, so he was at Holy Cross. Okay.
Yeah.
That's not doesn't feel like he played his hand too well there.
I got a hunch we're not going to get a chance to talk to Jackson Woodard.
Hey, don't sleep on it, man.
I'm not sleeping on anybody. I will say one special teams observation that I thought was notable. While they're doing gunner stuff with some of the wide receivers and some of the defensive backs, they had Woody Marks with the lineman, the tight end, doing pass blocking, the blocking on the punt portion of it. The best way I can describe is pass blocking. It's a little bit different, obviously. So, that's part of Dare Ogunbowale's workload. And if we're talking third down running back, Woody Marks, maybe he's here to replace Dare Ogunbowale. So something to watch for when they put a full special teams unit out there to see if he gets some of those Dare snaps up close to the line of scrimmage.
I noticed this right off the top, and I think it's something to really, really keep an eye on. Jalen Reed is practicing like Jalen Petrie.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's doing all the stuff that Jalen Petrie does, where it's very hands-on. It's unique. Like it's not a lot of times you're on your own and not with the DBs. There was a lot of real in-depth recognition, lining up at the slot, recognizing the tight end. Like they were doing a drill. It's probably the most in-depth drills that were going on. But they were doing a drill where it was basically like playing pickle, where you have the tight end on one side, and then you have the fullback going in the flat on the other. And they're basically teaching you to stay with the tight end while being aware of the fullback potentially catching out of the backfield or the running back. So I think we're starting to see perhaps the evolution of the Petrie role, in that it might not be just unique to Jalen Petrie. It might be something that is a part of this defense for no matter what.
Certainly. And if they feel like that's the best way, you're going to have options behind Jalen Petrie, who got hurt playing that position last year. And to your point, Reed's the only safety in rookie minicamp. So he gets 3 coaches with him. So it was 3 coaches, and, one guy's kind of, whatever, the control guy, quality. And so he's pantomiming the offensive player. But I thought it was notable that they did a lot of, like, you could see the coaches pantomiming, like, this is the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
And like Reed's right there. And it's like, okay, lining up, not in that defensive back, stance, but almost in that pseudo linebacker stance where you have to kind of read and recognize, yeah, he's going to get a crack at that backup job behind Jalen Petrie. And maybe, in certain situations where they want just a little bit more physicality from that, maybe he's going to get a crack at, absolute, no question, clear run opportunities too. Because again, well over 200 pounds. He looks like he's well over 200 pounds. And I mean, at Penn State, he was a heat-seeking missile. So I am intrigued to see what he can do and how they ultimately use him. And then, he even got some normal safety stuff going at different points too.
Rich Boy Jay says Cody spit. I'm assuming when you were talking about the
Keaton Slovis,
the QBs for sure. But yeah, I think Reed. I think they see a Jalen Petrie in him, or a Jalen Petrie type of backup, and then Jimmy Ward perhaps becomes like a Swiss Army knife. But I do think that's the role, and I think it's the appropriate role. And that's what we were talking about heading into the draft. In large part, he was one of the guys that I thought, and Makuba out of Texas and a couple other guys, where there was deep safeties that could potentially do what Jalen Petrie does. They end up taking one of them. And it looks like he's going to be doing those types of things. Yeah,
if I was building a depth chart behind Petrie right now, I'd put Jimmy Ward behind him just because Jimmy's done it at a high level. Does it differently than Petrie. And then I'd put Reed, and then I'd put Smith behind all of those guys, just for, I think Smith's going to get some coverage opportunities maybe at nickel if Petrie's unavailable, just because he did that at USC a little bit.
Yeah, and when you're basically a nurse when you're behind Jimmy Ward too. Like, you're on call. So, I mean, it's not like being behind, Lake and Tomlinson, who never gets hurt. Like you're on call. Like you're not going out to eat because you're on call. So yeah. So just be ready if you are behind him.
I used to have a buddy that he worked in the oil field, and he was on call for the oil field in Midland, Odessa, and he'd come to party with us in Lubbock. And I go, "You're going to get fired if you get called into work." He's like, "No, I'm not. I can get there in 90 minutes." And I was like, "That's not what they want when they put you on call, bud."
Have you seen Landman with Billy Bob? It's pretty good.
It's on my to-do list. I have not got to it yet.
It's good.
I've heard it's good.
They got to have a 2-piece of that. The Iowa State guys, it is SNL. Happy Friday to all. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. The single mothers, the grandmas who step it up and play the mother role, the dads, all that stuff. The dads that have to play. Shout out to the mothers. Mother's Day though. The Iowa State wideouts. Where are we at with the Iowa State wideouts? Like I said, I think they look a lot. They look physically like NFL players already. Like it doesn't look like strength would be an issue with them. Noel's a pretty big dude. Like I know he's not tall, but he's a pretty big dude.
He's not slight. I mean, I thought he looked a little shorter than his bio says, but he's not a slight, smaller guy. Like he's got kind of the broad shoulders as well. Same with, Jaden Higgins. That was my thing with Higgins, was he looked like he had broader shoulders than I anticipated. And just kind of like, if we're juxtaposing Jaden Higgins and even to an extent Jalen Noel versus what Xavier Hutchinson looked like walking into the NFL 2 years ago, those guys look physically leaps and bounds ahead of Hutchinson. They changed trainers at Iowa State or something?
That might be a good question. Did the strength coach change? I don't know. Maybe that's something you can look into. Not sure. Or maybe they're just further along, and that's why they got drafted earlier.
They did.
Oh, they did?
They changed it. Yeah.
Okay. Well, might be onto something then.
Yeah, they grabbed like a guy from Boise State and changed it.
Oh wow! So they went pretty big then.
And then that's why Jaden Higgins walks in and he looks like a
okay.
So
they did. So when Hutchinson left, they did. By the way, I talked about Hutchinson's big game against Texas. He choked it away. He tricked it off. Had the drop pass, drop catch in 2022 against Texas. But he was. I think he had like 10 catches and he was just dominant in that game. Kind of a big game for Noel too. He had nearly 100 yards and 2 touchdowns. So not to be outdone. He's had some good performances in this state. What can you gain from the linemen?
Three quick things about the wide receivers real quick. Noel had a drop in one of the drills, just hit him right in the hands, dropped it, ran it again, did a good job doing that. And then final few minutes, Noel on the sideline, perfect route, taps the toes, gets it right in there. The throw wasn't great. He just rips it out of the air. And then the play of the day was Jaden Higgins had a one-handed catch on the sideline. That was sweet. So didn't get a lot of running routes against air, but got a couple of nice plays out of the Iowa State duo.
Yeah. I don't know if the drop was 100% his fault. I could blame
you putting that on you putting that on Frank Ross? Frank Ross throwing the drill.
Yeah, I think it's possible. On the super chat, Logan has a comment. You ain't never hate. Swarm. He says, Ursary as big as you thought, and how do you look? Yeah, he's a massive human being. And like when he walked in, there were people like, holy crap, that dude's huge. I think Sarge was by me, and Sarge was like, damn, that dude's huge.
The Texans social media team put a few of the rookies walking in together this morning, and Ursary was behind them. He looked like he was a dad on chaperone duty. Like he was just like, he towered above everybody. And if he's 330, I don't believe he's 330. He looks much bigger than 330. And then the thing that really impressed me, it was him and the two other linemen that were in the practice, all three of those guys were extremely flexible. Like when they were doing the warm-up stuff. Like Ursary had his like left leg like all the way behind him and was like stretching out. I was like, that looks like that would pop half the guy's hamstrings if they did that. And it's like, hey, you're gonna be a big tackle. You gotta be able to bend. You gotta be able to be flexible. So thought that was intriguing.
Finesse, God, HOU says, always wanted to know where that little Boosie snippet from the super chat came from. Is he talking about earlier when I talked about Webby, the spice in the gumbo? Oh, or is he talking about this?
Yeah, I think that's what he's talking about.
Swarm.
It's Swerve, except I used Caserio saying Swarm instead. It's Swerve by Boosie and Webby.
It's a great job by you.
Yeah, so I have it's you ain't never had Swerve on him, but we got Swarm instead. You ain't never had
Swarm.
Going 55 in the bourbon straight swerving. With a hot yellow fine virgin and we swerving. All right, let's move on.
I've never heard it.
Check it out. It's a good one. What can you gain? Gangsta Music, by the way, one of the most underrated duo projects ever. I don't know how Bun B kept those guys in check as long as he did, and it wasn't that long. What can you gain from the linemen? You asked this question earlier. I'm gonna let you answer your own question.
It's just strictly what do they look like and how do they move? Like I'll be on the lookout for the rest of the time on if a lineman looks like he's broken walking, because you've nailed it multiple times. But how do they move when they do something, when they do have to move their feet, when they do have to do a drill? Like, how do they move and what do they look like? I feel like just like I'm looking at Ursary, mountain of a man. I'm looking at LaDarius Henderson. They're lying. He's not 309. He looks like he looks huge. And then I'm like, training camp when Kenyon Green showed up, he looked kind of, svelte. He looked like he didn't have enough, weight on him to make things happen. And I'm like, well, LaDarius Henderson looks pretty big. And then Eli Cox, the undrafted free agent center, he looks bigger than Juice Scruggs has ever looked. And I'm just like, okay, these guys look big. And I'm like, and we know that in LA,
really suspect today, but I mean, body type's all you got to say. I mean, we've never seen these guys in person. And a lot of times when you see a guy like a rookie, it's like, man, he could be all right, but he's going to need an NFL offseason before he kind of looks like looks the part. I was talking to someone, we were talking to someone about Ursary, and they were like, yeah, just compare what he looked like to what Kenyon Green looked like when he walked in. And it's like, oh my gosh, like it's light years ahead.
That's another thing about Ursary. He's a big guy, but he wears the weight well. Like, he doesn't look like there's a bunch of wasted weight on him. It doesn't look like he's a fat ass. It doesn't look like it looks like he's like it looks like a power lifter, or like a strong man, where that's like, he's big, but like you can tell there's muscle underneath there. I just thought that was my big thing. It's like they looked like larger linemen than what the Texans have typically had. And if it's worth noting, in New England, they had some bigger guys when Nick Caley was there, when Cole Popovich was there. And then obviously in LA over the past couple of seasons, they've had larger interior offensive linemen as well. And so, if you're kind of putting some of the pieces together, maybe bigger guys is kind of the focus there on that offensive line.
So, someone asked earlier about Caley and what he looked like. Man, he's observant. I mean, it is it seems like he's really, really observant. And some would say, well, they're not doing much out there. I mean, he's literally like almost like has his eye on the line as Higgins and Knoll are trying to get off the line of scrimmage and stuff. And like he's watching, and then he's going back and forth with the tight ends and checking them out in blocking drills. So it seems like he's a very, 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 very attentive guy, at least early on. And look, we don't know. I mean, we might just be looking too close at it, but I mean, he was like right on the line in what looked like just kind of a normal drill.
I mean, I was kind of I asked you just to make sure I had the right beat on him, and he was right there watching all the wide receivers work out. And after he spent some time with them, he started moseying back, and I was like, okay, where's he going now? And then, okay, there's some time with the tight ends, and just kind of watched them standing back, and then he turned and he went back to the offensive lineman on the back part of the field. And it's like the guy's moving around, and I thought it was interesting too. Like, I mean, he obviously coached tight ends, and like he didn't have. I mean, it's not like he had a bunch of stuff to like drop in there with the tight ends. He was just kind of observing, letting the coaches do their things, and then I'm sure his work and input all comes, film room, study, get your notebook out, kind of stuff like that. But yeah, he moves around a lot more than I remember Bobby moving around.
Yeah, and I wouldn't know. I feel like you're being unfair to Bobby, just making stuff up. No, that's slander.
Damn it, Bobby.
I feel like you just made that up. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know why you got to kick Bobby Wise down.
Well, I mean, he's got a job still.
Yeah, but I mean, I just feel like you're being disrespectful to Bobby.
Well, I mean, if he didn't want shots taken, he should have kept his job.
I'm just messing with you. So another couple things. I'll be honest, it's kind of weird looking on that field and not seeing John Weeks. They had a new deep snapper rocking number 40. I'm not even going to say his name. He hasn't deserved it yet, but I'm just going to go ahead and say this, okay? I'm not trying to create some sort of competition.
Oh, here we go. I know where you're going with this.
Right, never mind then. Never mind. No,
you can't.
No. It's cool. It's all good.
Don't do that to the people.
No. We're good. We can move on.
The people deserve better. What were you going to say?
No, we can move on. I don't want to start stuff. I just, I'm just watching. It's early.
Look, there's nobody else that talks about this team that actually is going to get into the nitty-gritty of the special teams. And you were very impressed by the rookie minicamp tryout punter.
Let me just say this right here, and I'm just going to say this is all I'm saying, and you take this for what it's worth, and you can get rid of it, and it might not last. It might have just been a low pressure. Hell, sometimes you go to the driving range and you see someone just look like they're a scratch golfer, and then you get on the course when there's more people around or there's money on the line, and they're 20, 25 over. So sometimes that happens, okay? But all I have to do and all I have to judge by is what I saw at the driving range. So this is all I'm saying, okay? If you would have, if when I was driving to the stadium, you would have told me, what do you think of Kai Kroger? I would have said, I don't know who that is. Does he have something to do with the grocery store?
That feels like a auto-generated NCAA football name.
Yes, and I would have said, I have no idea who that is. I don't know anything about him. However, as I walked into the practice facility and I looked to my right and I kind of observed what he had going on, and then he kind of weaseled his way over during the special teams. I'm just going to say this. Tommy Townsend has never punted as well as Kai Kroger did today in practice. In practice, Tommy Townsend has never punted as good as Kai Kroger did today.
That's just not true. Townsend was hitting
I'm telling you right now, he has not punted as well as this kid did. He might be a driving range punter, but this left-footed kid had some hang time and he had some boom on the punt. I'm telling you, he might be the driving range guy. He might be the guy that is just dropping dimes on the driving range. And maybe when Tommy Townsend's right there and he's having to punt next to him, he's not feeling himself as much. But that dude at the driving range, as you have your Bloody Mary and you're about to make the turn onto one, is someone that you wanted on your team in the scramble.
Crozier, whatever his name is. I'm not learning it because he's not going to make the team. I will say
KK.
He did boom the crap out of a couple of those. I mean, he was just boom. Sounded like a freaking gunshot getting off of his foot.
No, they were Cheech and Chongs too. And Snoop Dogs, they were high.
He was
He was on that. He was definitely his punts. They had a lot of THC in them.
High-grade marijuana called Kush on the streets.
They were in the clouds.
Fourth in college football in punting last year.
Dude, I'm telling you. I'm not saying that there's like some punter thing. Tommy Townsend's one of the better punters in the league, whatever. This dude was punting the hell out of the ball.
I mean, maybe this is an early scout for the future after Tommy Townsend.
I don't know.
I mean, Townsend only signed a 2-year deal.
The long snapper, no thoughts. Didn't notice anything.
Didn't watch him.
Didn't really watch him.
They have another guy. They have 2 long snappers. They have a rookie and they have a guy that's played in the NFL before. So, I'll watch the long snappers when training camp gets here.
Someone says, who on the staff do you think smokes? God, this is not Frank. Hell no. There is a 0% chance Frank Ross. 0.
All those John Carroll guys feel like rule followers.
But Matt Burke, I could definitely see. He is a very adventurous guy. He's very scientific.
Top of the mountain.
Yeah, so he respects the science. He actually taught English before. I asked him what he would teach. He kind of flexed. He got the perfect score on the SATs and the math, but he ended up teaching English or something. So, yeah, I could see Burke. He's kind of a scientific dude.
I could definitely see him
doing shrooms.
I was going to say, I could definitely see him taking mushrooms on a mountain.
I could easily see him taking shrooms and going and diving and swimming with fucking whales or something like that. Running back, Woody Marks by himself today.
Woody Marks all alone. The one thing I noticed that jumped off the page to me about Woody Marks, it's very clear what a good and smooth and easy pass catching running back looks like. He catching the ball in the drills and doing the catching drills at the running back spot. It looks like second nature for him. It does not look laborious. It does not look out of place. So, I mean, that's the only thing I can really glean, as he just kind of was off by himself. I mean, he did like all the running back warm up stuff and all the running back drills that they do in the normal weeks of practice, and he was over there just him and running backs coach Danny Barrett and another guy come over there and check on him every now and then, and they was in their own little world.
This is really suspect, and I apologize, but he's much wider than I thought he was. Like he looks like a guy that might be able to go between the tackles. It's that time of the year, so forgive my my suspect stuff. They have played up the Toy Story thing, I think. I guess he got the nickname Woody because he liked Toy Story. Is that the
yes? So
like now he's gonna get Toy Story. He's getting Toy Story questions and stuff. Didn't Cole Thompson have him rank the Toy Stories? I think on his. I'm pretty sure in his intro thing he had him like rank the Toy Stories.
Must have missed that one.
Because didn't Deebo Samuel get his name because he used to like steal kids' candy or something?
Something like that. Yeah,
I think. But from Friday, Deebo, they called him Deebo because he was like a bully. I think his mom said he used to like kind of bully kids and like run over them or whatever, so they called him Deebo, and that's how he got his name. I would much rather be asked Friday questions than Toy Story, but yeah, the Toy Story thing's been
Joe Quavius is his government first name.
Yeah, they called him that the other day on the Twitter. Didn't the Texans tweet out getting to know Joe Quavius? So maybe he's trying to creep back to the government.
Perhaps.
Name. Yeah, maybe he's trying to get away from the the Woody first name. Don't know.
We'll see.
Who knows? But yeah, that's the Toy Story.
Apparently,
there's no way he really loves Toy Story now.
Apparently, he's quite the bowler.
Bowler?
Mm-hmm.
Like how good? Like Chris Paul, 230, 235 good? Or like...
I mean, I don't know. He's not... I would assume he's not Mookie Betts.
Is bowling kind of one of those things that like you kind of respect someone less when they're good at it? Like I remember I had a friend named named Nick, and his dad was always kind of like the hard ass, like cool, like white trashes type of dude. and he had a buddy, and we went like one time we took a trip all the way to Del Mar, and his dad had a buddy who was like a real big bookie and owned a horse. And this dude had like an envelope full of blow, like it was like crazy. Like, and I was just like, man, these are the craziest dudes ever. Oh my God. This was like in between college. So we go there and this dude's just like wired up, staying up the whole time. He has like a horse, but I thought Denny, like his dad was such a badass. He had like the handlebar and stuff. And then one time he was like, when we were in town, Nick, like I think it was like Christmas break or something. He's like, hey, let's go bowling. My dad's at the bowling alley. And I was like, all right, cool. Let's go. And we sit down, dude, his dad walks in and he has like his bowling glove on and like the bag with the bowling. And I was like, dude, this dude's a freaking tool, man. Like all of the street cred and all that was just lost because he had like a bowling ball with his name on it and like the hand, and he's like trying to spin it and like getting pissed off at his bowling. I'm like, dude, bowling is just like drink beer and bowl. But I feel like it's one of those things where the better you are, the less I think of you type of things.
Well, I think if it's not like a main focus for you, like Mookie Betts, he just like shows up and can bowl like close to 300. And
Mookie Betts can bowl 300.
Mookie Betts has bowled like multiple 300 games in his life.
I bowled like 186 at the Texans thing, and I'm usually like less than 100. I got in like some zone, and that's the best I've ever done.
It's hard. The thing about bowling, if you're not consistent, there's no chance. Those guys do the same thing the exact same way. Every single time. I can't get
down with the bowling, bowling whole thing.
I interviewed a guy as like somebody gave me like a project, like, hey, go get better interviews. And I interviewed a guy who had won a tournament that crowned him the king of bowling. And pretty nice guy. And I was like, what do you do to like, you work out to get better? He's like, I bowl to get better. It's like, okay. Yeah. He's like, I don't go to the gym.
There's an old school bowling alley by me that I want to hit. It's called AMF. Type in AMF. It's like just right by me, dude. Like,
man, if it's an old school one, those are disappearing quick.
Nah, and it looks like a lost art every time I go there. I'm like, I got to go peep this scene. Probably like smoky.
Oh yeah. All the chairs are falling apart in the little dining area.
Yeah, I got to hit this AMF. I got to go bowl. I want to bowl now, but you can't be too good at it. Pool, like if someone goes up there and works it in pool, it's like, oh man.
Till they make you call it billiards, and you're like, all right, done with you.
Yeah, AMF. All right, so we got recommendation of AMF. Cody has something to say about the QB draft pick. Did I already put you on the spot with that?
Yeah, we did that already. Graham Mertz is, if he throws the ball harder with one leg than Keaton Slovis does with two legs.
But he probably shouldn't be out there right now.
No. He shouldn't be on the team because they shouldn't have used the draft pick on a quarterback. But it's nice to know that he's better than the guy that's been in the building.
I thought they were about to Byron Leftwich in between reps where they like carry him.
Get LaDarius Henderson and Eli Cox to pick him up and bring him down the field.
I was like, man, this dude's really trying to be a hero.
He looked like Forrest Gump before the metal stuff fell off when he was running. Like, geez, Mertz.
Yeah, he was struggling, man.
Yeah, he was not moving well. Imagine how good it'll be when he starts moving well.
Well, he won't be throwing next to them. This was him between reps right here. I really don't know what they were thinking.
If they had to have left him up to him, and he was like, F it, I'm going to try.
Okay.
Well, he's better than Slovis.
We also had LaDarius Henderson out there today. D'Amico was asked about him. Here's what D'Amico had to say about that.
Very encouraged with LaDarius and just how he's went about the process, just throughout the offseason, throughout the entire season, just seeing LaDarius show up every day, smile on his face, having that joy. Like he gives me energy, right? Just seeing him in the building, how excited he is to just work, get better weight room on the field. Just we wanted to get him out here in the rookie minicamp because he didn't have this time last year. I just get on the field. So trying to get him just the extra time to get out, get some coaching sessions with Coach Popovich, and he's doing a great job so far. And I'm just excited to see, how this journey continues to go for him, because it's definitely headed in the right direction, and he's done everything the right way, everything you could possibly do to put yourself in position to have a successful year. He's done that.
Okay.
I kind of figured out like why they like him so much. And I don't think it has anything to do with what he can do on the field. I think they know he's a long shot, but he's a guy that they drafted when he was injured. And all they asked him to do was get in shape and try to rehab. And then he got hurt again. And that's really what he's done. So that's really all they have to judge. So there's kind of a soft spot for him when they're asked about him. And they'll try to figure some stuff out with him. But I mean, I think that's the best way to kind of explain.
I wonder if he's a vibes guy.
What?
Like they just, oh man, LaDarius.
No, he's definitely a vibes guy. I mean, Jim Harbaugh said he was like one of his favorite guys that he ever coached.
It's like, oh, okay, now he's healthy. We like hanging out with him. We like coaching him.
So
he carries weight well. Let's see what he's got.
Yeah, and I mean,
it is interesting. After D'Amico Ryan says LaDarius Henderson's done everything he can to put himself in a position to help us, and then 45 minutes later, Nick Broker gets cut. So it's like, see you later, bud. We got LaDarius Henderson. We don't need a Nick Broker.
Yeah, but Nick Broker was going to get cut anyway.
Yeah, probably.
Even though that's your guy.
Definitely not my guy.
Big Nick Broker guy here.
Nope.
There.
Saw him walking around at the wine garden with 2 bottles of wine.
Oh, yeah?
Yes. He was having a time. Good
for him. That's what it's there for.
Yep.
I'm not judging. You're a snitch for telling on him. But other than that, I mean, those are the biggest takeaways from trying to think if there's anything else that really stuck out.
They either got to get Keontae Hamilton's fatter than I thought he was, or they got to get him a bigger jersey. Like, cause he looked like Casey Hampton.
No, but he's also one of those guys that's like a wrestler. So they always want their like outfits tight, dude. It's gonna be fun to watch him on the one-on-one drills, because all that is basically wrestling. And you don't have to teach him like about leverage. He's like a national world type of wrestler. So
and they like that.
Probably keep the jersey real tight.
And they like having that center of mass in the middle of their body. It helps your balance.
Yeah, he's got
a lot of center of mass.
Yeah, he is gonna. Him versus Juice Scruggs. That's going to be a hell of a wrestling match. Juice better bring it.
And if Keontae Hamilton's actually 304 pounds, then I'm the Queen of England. There's no chance.
What do you mean? You think he weighs more?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I didn't take that. That wasn't really my takeaway, but yeah, we'll see. Nick Caserio out there too with D'Amico. He was just kind of going about his business, nothing too crazy. Anyone up? Frank Ross is Frank Ross. He's doing what Frank Ross does, special teams.
Yep.
Nothing too nuts. But no real blunders. I don't think it should be minimized what they did, but they didn't do a ton. But the vision is easy to tell. And you also have Higgins kind of impacting the league, where I saw that Shamar Stewart wouldn't even do drills today. I'm not saying that necessarily impacts him, but a lot of these second round picks are taking their time because they want guaranteed deals now as a result of Higgins getting his.
Yeah. Well, Shamar Stewart was a first-round pick.
Yeah, that's why I said. Yeah, I guess that doesn't matter.
But he didn't even sign. He didn't even do the injury waiver thing, which Ursery, I guess, is the only unsigned guy.
Yeah, and he did. He refused to. Shamar Stewart. He was getting grilled by that Cincinnati media. Cincinnati doesn't really. They don't really play, man.
Yeah, they go. I mean,
They go pretty hard.
That's Joe Mixon about the Cincinnati media.
Yeah, they go pretty in. But Jamar Chase just likes answering the questions. That's the best. That's the best.
He does give a lot of info.
He's the best in the world. There is no athlete better at just answering every single question in depth. They can ask him anything. There is the number one, one of my number one weekly things. And y'all know that I'm all over the podium critic. But as far as other squads, Jamar Chase's 14 whatever minutes, it is the best. He's just saying whatever about whoever. And it's not a bit, it's just honest answering the questions.
Yep.
He's the man. I do think these rookies are going to be kind of boring. I don't think there's going to be any massive quotes or anything like that from these guys. Maybe Ursery, if he establishes himself as one of the leaders, you got to look out for him. He did use the Will Anderson quote about PJ Fleck. He said Minnesota ain't for everyone.
Yep.
He said Fleck said that when I asked him about Fleck.
And he mentioned a lot. He's like, oh, they're Minnesota, culture first. So some of the messaging's been sort of the same, familiar with some of the things they've told us. So.
And I asked, I think, 7 Matt Campbell questions today. So big Matt Campbell guy here.
Your guy, Matt Campbell.
My guy, my dude. The guy that always battles, no matter what he's got. You give him a plastic knife to a gunfight, he's going to go out there and try his best. Matt Campbell. Big part of what the Texans got right now.
You don't think Jalen Reed might say something?
Oh, he will. Yeah,
Okay.
he will once he figures it out. But right now, he's just a giddy dude. He's not. It's not going to be anything nuts. But if Ursery becomes one of the faces of the offensive line, then he's going to be kind of one of the go-to guys. The Iowa State receivers aren't going to do anything. It's going to be Nico. It's going to be even Nico light. Nico doesn't say much.
Jaden Higgins might be more boring than Nico.
Yes. It's not. The wide receiver room is not that exciting. When it comes to getting a quote. Am I wrong?
No, you're absolutely right.
I would say it might be the worst. As far as just getting quotes, it might be the worst.
I mean, what I've been told about Christian Kirk is, he's the consummate professional in the locker room. So
yeah,
you're not going
which is great, which is fine. That'd be cool.
You're not going to get anything salacious out of him.
Yep. Why does everyone want to know about Mason Tharp? What do you have for Mason Tharp? He's big as hell. That's what we have.
The only thing I can tell you about Tharp is when they did the blocking drills, he got really low, which is what you need to do when you're a gigantic human like him. So if he doesn't make the team, he needs to learn how to be a professional wrestler.
Yeah, he's a massive dude, but there wasn't any. I mean, he's just huge. There's nothing to really.
Both the tight ends caught the ball when they ran their very simple, basic routes.
That was it.
That's it.
Nothing too crazy.
Neither of them. It didn't feel like either of them were the next Travis Kelce.
Did not.
Or Gronk.
Did not. Other than that, that's all we got. And I feel like it was a lot. It was fun. It was good to be back on the field. It was good to see some of the new faces. It was good to see the guys in action. Obviously, we still got some time before camp. We'll have some mini camps and some mandatory camps in between that. We'll see how the veterans gel with the rooks, but those are the takeaways. Probably the most suspect episode we'll have. A lot of body talk, but hey, that's what we're here for. You won't get that anywhere else.
First OTA that's not mandatory. There'll be more body talk. Like, what does Titus look like? What does Juice look like?
Yeah, the return type of thing. Yeah. We'll have a body watch before then.
Daniel Jackson the undrafted free agent wide receiver from Minnesota. He false started on a special teams drill. That's all I got for you on him.
Did you really have to do him like that? Like, could we just like get by like that? We could have just not mentioned him.
Ursary said he's going to be awesome.
I mean, I was just trying to get through without mentioning that, but hey, Cody's a jerk. Sorry. Subscribe, like, right along. Always remember when it comes to this Texan stuff, whether you got a fully functioning leg or a fake leg, we're all in it together.
Graham Mertz. I thought he went to ECU. Way out there looking like a pirate. Eat good, sleep good, be good. We'll talk Texans again soon. Thanks for watching, everybody.